Okay, cool. So we're going to be cutting up some prime grade Painted Hills shoulder clods and doing some Racher steaks. There's some silver skin on this muscle. We're going to want to go ahead and cut that off. And this will kind of give you a visual of the fiber that's inside this muscle. Now all this trim, we're going to make some prime grade sliders out of it. Just kind of cutting the silver skin off so you can see where the muscle fibers are at. And we're going to try to leave a little bit fat on this side. Trim a little bit of that off. And then we'll go ahead and cut some steaks. So you can see there is a little bit of gristle right here. You can always cut that off. That'll do well in grind. Not so well when you cut it up and plate it for your steak, but you can see the marbling on this cut. We wanted to show you another cut from the heart of the shoulder clod or Racher steaks. I cut a couple of them here. They're a little smaller portion, but the whole point is to try to get a steak without that gristle. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to do a Racher petite steak. We're going to take this Painted Hills trim and make some nice burger with it, or some sliders. It's got a nice fat content. So you can kind of see here, we got that gristle that's going to be running through this particular cut of meat. So I'm going to cut off this outside section. And then we're kind of going to do the same thing with this that we did with the flat iron. So we're going to try to follow that muscle seam along the gristle. Gristle actually is good for your stomach. There are people that are looking for steaks that have a little bit more gristle for you. Some diets in England that rave about how good that's for you. Now I'm going to just cut the rest of this gristle off this cut of meat. And that'll make a great hamburger. You can grind that up for burger. Now, if you look close, you can kind of see the different muscle fiber here. It's kind of going that way. You always want to cut against the grain and not with it, So we're going to be cutting our portions and steaks like this. So I'm going to cut these a little thicker, about 1.25 inches or so. So here we got the Racher cut steaks from the heart of the shoulder clod. If you look close to this muscle, you will see kind of a seam of gristle. I went ahead and seamed these muscles out so there's no gristle in those. So we're looking at the Painted Hills Choice Grade Shoulder Clod muscle. Now, we just did Racher cut steaks from this muscle here. That's called the heart of the shoulder clod. And right here is going to be where our flat iron steaks are. So today we're going to be showing you how to get the flat iron steaks. And this flat iron section is kind of a hidden gem. Now behind the camera is our lovely Edith. She does a really great job at these. You can see what we're going to do first is we want to cut off this orange skin. And then we have some fat here on the other side of this muscle. Now I don't know the names of these muscle groups, but I will look them up or mention them or note them in the video. Every single muscle that's on the animal corresponds to a muscle that we have in our body. And this particular muscle hidden in the shoulder blade just doesn't get much use, and that's what makes it so tender. The more the animal uses the muscle, the kind of chewier and rough the texture is. But this one in the shoulder, they don't have any bilateral movement like this, so that muscle is very tender. Real ass chickens. The hell about it. So with my Grant knife, almost as good as you can do it, but not quite. So they also call this a feather steak in England because it looks like that. They named them flat iron steaks here in the United States because you'll see once we trim them up, they're about the size of a flat iron. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to trim this little chunk of meat there. And then, as we get into it, I like to make a cut right in here. It's going to show you where our sinew is. So we don't want that in the steak. We're going to have to go ahead and use our knife to follow on the inside where that gristle is so we can extract a flat iron steak. I'm just going to take my knife and we'll just go ahead, make an incision here, and use that knife to just follow that gristle and sinew. This is going to be your flat iron steak. Again, it's about the size of a flat iron if you're going to be doing some ironing at home. We've got one more steak here. What we have to do is try to get rid of that gristle because we don't want that gristle in our steak. So I'm going to use the same kind of approach. We'll make an incision here on this side. And then we're just going to follow the gristle right on through to our other flat iron steak. Now, like I said, it's not as pretty as what you could do, but it'll get the job done. And what you've done is you found a really, really nice cut of meat hidden inside of a cheaper cut of meat, the shoulder clod. But these are going to be flat iron steaks. This is going to be the steak that you really want to throw on the grill. It's going to be tender, and we got them here at Knutson's for a limited time. Come on in, and thanks for watching.
Wave your knife.
Oh, subscribe. Go ahead and if you like the video, hit the like button below. Subscribe for more carnivorian content, and let us know in the comments if you have any other cuts of meat or questions about meat processing. We got our cooler under repair right now. We're going to be getting some more carcasses in. So we've been having fun playing with the retail case, and we'll see you next time.
Cut the meat up.